So with that, would like to introduce Mr. Vanel.
All right.
Forward, backward, laser.
Okay, sweet. Morning, everybody. Morning. Oh, you guys look wonderful. You guys thought I was going to present, right? Actually, you guys got a pop quiz. And it's an algebra pop quiz. You guys ready? I've got Scantrons in my bag. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Let's go. How do you guys feel about that?
Fun.
What's a Scantron? So, let's get started. Who am I? I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I've been teaching middle school math for the past 6 years, and I'm the founder of Learn to Graph. And short story, after I joined the Marine Corps, I worked on airplanes, and after I got out, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And so I went to a military transition program type of deal, and there was a lady who was like, hey, I think you'll be a good fit for this little school that's an all-boys school. And these kids are not regular kids. These kids, they are troubled kids who got kicked out of their school. And I think you'll probably be a good fit since, you know, you have a Marine Corps background. And I was like, I don't think I want to teach that. And they're like, you'll be a good fit. And so I took it on, and it was interesting. It was an interesting thing, and it was a catalyst for everything that I do in my classroom today. And so I had to learn about who those kids were. I had to earn their trust, and from earning their trust, I was able to teach them the things that I wanted to teach them. And I didn't know that you have to do those things in a specific order so that you can get the result. Because these kids, they were written off from getting kicked out from other schools, and they never were heard from teachers. They're like, get out of here! Like you're a troublemaker. You're a problem. You're like, and so what I start learning from them is that for you to reach kids, you have to reach them from where they are and from the context of where they come from. And so that's how I got into this, and that's how this was actually born. The problem that I'm solving is the algebra problem. Algebra is one of those classes that either makes or breaks you. And it's one of those classes that opens opportunities as far as career paths for you. It can open career paths, hey, make good money, or close career paths, like you're not going to make too much money because of this. And so here's the problem. In algebra, it's you're taking students from understanding numbers, and you're introducing letters. And when you transition from numbers to letters, you start losing people. And you start losing people really fast. And in that classroom, you get a lack of engagement, and you get limited resources, a little bit of time. And this is what you see in a classroom. Kids sleeping, kids stressed out. They're like, I do not want to do this. Can you guys relate?
Yes.
Absolutely. This is what I saw in my classroom. And I'm like, how do I get them engaged? How do I get them interested in what I'm doing? And so in my classroom, what I found out, these kids, they already got kicked out of class. And what I found out was you have to level with them, and you have to teach them from where they are. That means not trying to introduce something new, but whatever that they're doing currently that's natural for them, you can build on that. So at the beginning of school, they'll get their breakfast, they get their cartons of milk, and we give them breakfast, and they're doing their thing. And what I just started doing, I was like, all right, we're going to do math right here at breakfast. We're going to open those milk cartons. We're going to create recipes. We're going to learn about ratios. We're going to learn about proportions and all that. And this was all hands-on. They start doing these things with their hands. They're on their feet, and they're talking to their friends, and they're trying to figure out how to make these recipes for if it's cake or whatever it is. And it was fun for them. They didn't think that they were doing math. They were thinking that we just cooking. And this is something perhaps their family don't even allow them to do at home. So it was a good thing for them being in that setting. So this is how I did it. I transitioned from that school, the alternative boys school. I didn't know when I signed up that it was all year round. And they don't get summers off because an idle place for these boys is not a good place to be, so they have to be in school at all times. And so I was like, I need my summers off. And so I transitioned to another school, and I realized the kids are the same. They're the same. Different setting, same kids, same struggles. So I started implementing the same thing that I found in the alternative school. What do you need to do? You need to get those students in motion. What I did in the alternative school, I got to get them up off their seat. Put them on their feet. Once you get them off their feet, get them off their butts and into their feet, you empower them. You celebrate performance, everything that they do. You applaud them, good work, good job, keep it up, let's go. Provide them the right tools and give them a space for them to compete. Because one thing that I know about students, if you give them something that they have to compete against, they want to be the winner. And so that's the formula. 4 pillars: get them in motion, celebrate performance, provide the right tools, and allow competition. This is what it looks like in motion. They're doing linear equations here. They're solving linear equations in seconds, literally seconds, because I introduced it to them in a game form. I took the textbook, I dwindled it down to a board, because half of the algebra book is about graphs. And so the rules of the game are the math rules. And so I tell them, here are the rules of the game, and this is how you play. Oh, I can do that. Instead of taking pencil and paper and saying, this is how you do it, which sucks, I say, no, we're going to play a game. I can play. Okay, great. And when you get things wrong, it's not a big deal because we're playing. This is the Sweet 16. After I teach them the subject, each card that they're flipping over, each card that they're flipping over is a math problem. And so they're solving math problems. So instead of them going in the book and doing math problems, each card is a math problem. So as we go on in the chapters, they get different math problems so they can solve. And they're like, oh, I can do that because I'm just following the rules. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's the traction. Last year, they brought me into school. I was teaching STEM. Math teacher left midway through the first quarter. Mr. Marc, can you go teach the math class? I got you, no problem. She was gone. She was out of the school started in August. She was gone from September to December. They didn't have a math teacher. All right, Mr. Marc, can you take that class since you're teaching an elective class? That class is more important than that. Yeah, no problem. I go into the math class. This is the data I get from 30% of them on grade level. In the 4.5 months that I had them, 80% of them were on grade level afterwards. To date, I've taught over 1,200 students, okay? How does what I'm bringing or what I've introduced in the math classroom compare to what's actually out there? Mathnasium. They have one-to-one instruction, and that's about it. IXL, they have one-to-one instruction, and they give you rapid feedback. Khan Academy, one-to-one instructions, it is virtual. Here, all the check boxes. I actually went to Mathnasium to try to sell this to them. They said, we don't want it. We don't actually offer manipulatives. They have to work on the worksheets because this is our proven model. Work on the worksheets, and that's it. Here's my go-to-market plan, and here's what I would like to accomplish. I want to get this learning tool into the top 100 school districts. I want to implement Learn to Graph workshops with teachers at PD sessions so that they can introduce this into their math classrooms to get kids hooked on actually learning that you can win at math. You can win at algebra. And want to be a K-12 market leader and create strategic partnerships. What those strategic partnerships look like is getting into charter schools, private schools, whatever type of schools that'll let me in to implement these types of strategies and tools. Here's the team. It's myself, and I've got 2 advisors. I've got Dr. Russ Barnes. I'm a military veteran, so they connected me to another military veteran who does business business development and business advisement. So they connected me with Dr. Russ Barnes. He's the United States Air Force colonel. Also, they connected me with Gary Hensley. He had 2 successful exits with software in ed tech. And so they're navigating me. This is how you should, this should be your next step. All right? And all the passionate educators that's in the classroom that's going to be championing this business or this model to get kids to understand that math is not a challenging thing. If you actually understand a few things, up, down, left, right, you'll understand that math is not that challenging, because kids go play video games all day long. But if you teach them using a traditional method, they're going to sleep. But if you use game type things, they'll be engaged and they'll be more responsive to how you want to teach. Here's how you guys can help. I'm looking for funding for further product development, the Salesforce, and I need marketing help. I need to get the word out. I'm a one-man show. Like, I do some things well, but there's a lot of things that I don't do well. And so I'm looking for those people who can do the marketing, do videos and things of that nature. That's how you guys can help. And if you would like to find out more about me, you can go to the website, learntograph.com, or you can follow me or message me on LinkedIn. I'm on there. I post there once a week, and I think that's my time.
All right, that was great stuff. I could have used that in years gone by.
Thanks, Vanel.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed that one too, for those of you who were wondering. Yeah. So,
Yeah, you don't in the last 500 times here.
so I'm a former educator, and you're right on the mark. What do you believe is your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge, I thought it was going to be a cakewalk to go into a school district and say, hey, use my stuff. Oh, no.
100%. 100%. 100%. So how do you do it? Students, PTA, parents, PTA, then school board. Mm-hmm. So how do you get the students to do it? Ingratiate yourself with some of the math teachers. They can get you a pass to come in, right? Mm-hmm. You come in, you speak to the students, you say, we're having a contest this weekend. And and the winner of the contest gets, I don't know, $100 or whatever.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And get sponsors to sponsor it.
Okay.
And they'll come in, Orlandopreneur will be happy to sponsor.
Okay.
And get the kids to come in there, teach them the game, and see what happens.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I love it.
That will lower your barriers to entry.
I love it.
Tremendously.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Career Day, too. You can get in on Career Day.
Absolutely.
Hey, I developed this game.
That's a great idea.
Let's teach you how to.
I was thinking, why not target just the teachers to show them how the technique works? They have no power. It's like they don't have power, but if they introduce it to the kids, and then you might be able to influence people from there. Yeah.
If the school board hasn't said, they don't. The only option is private schools and charter schools. They have less bureaucracy and things.
Right.
So.
Academies are.
Yeah.
Right.
Public schools, they teach to the test.
Right.
Hey, Vanel, great presentation, and please keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing, because math is always a problem. You know, it happened, it's a language of nature, but somehow our schooling system made it so bad that we are all just freaking from it.
Absolutely.
My question is, you're touching just one part of math, it's just the graphs. Mm-hmm. How are you going to, do you have in plans, or are you just specifically working on graphs?
So what I found was graphing is a visual thing.
Right.
More than anything, and so that's my easy entry, right? And so the easy entry is, if I say I'm thinking about an animal, and this animal has whiskers, it has a long tail, and it says meow. What is the animal? You know exactly what the animal is.
It's an elephant.
You know exactly what the elephant is. The elephant. Stop it. So what it is like introducing those abstract concepts to kids in that way is like, hey, this looks like this. Don't look at all these letters and things like this. These letters actually mean something. And so turning those letters into an image for them, that's the big breakthrough for them. It's like, oh, I'm not looking at gibberish, this foreign language. This is actually, it means something. So I'm just tackling that part.
Okay, just one more question, if I may. What is the cost structure? How did you come up with those numbers? What is your...
Which numbers? So what that involves is product development. So I am the product developer. I create everything. So if I have some experts to do more of that, then that'll give me time to actually go sell the product.
Yeah.
This is just one version of it. There's
No. You have a minimum viable product. Go.
okay.
Go.
Okay.
Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, again, great job, and this is exciting. My kids go to charter schools here in Orlando, and they're STEM centered. Do you teach currently at the charter schools?
Right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm
Okay.
trying to get this in the schools.
Okay. I have a suggestion. So my kids attend extended day afterwards.
What is it
and
called?
Extended day.
Okay.
Yeah, so they just go to after school
Okay.
fun. You know, they're middle school, and they do a lot of games.
Okay.
After school, so it's games and movies. So this might, I'm on the PVA, the PVO, so the
I'll
parent
talk to you
volunteer.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So if you can bring this in as a game to the extended day program,
Absolutely.
that might be your segue in as well too.
Absolutely. I love it.
I was going to piggyback on that and say similar things, like from two different angles. One, the kind of subversive, but not school board fighting.
Hold on. That word, what is?
So guerrilla marketing, underground, sneaking into the schools. And a couple of thoughts around that. One, there's a lot of dead time in classrooms. So maybe this isn't a educational tool initially to a school board or somebody. Maybe this is hey, the kids have some dead time, and instead of them just causing trouble, they're going to play a game. It's just a game. Don't worry about it, right? And then the teachers get to see how useful it is, and maybe that gets to somewhere. The other angle that you could potentially approach, and apologies because I don't know how this works from the math perspective, from the math perspective, math classes, but junior achievement, for example, volunteers go into schools, are approved to go into schools to teach children about finance. And I was a volunteer for them. They gave me significant leeway. They said, your topic is blah. Here are the materials that we have. But if you'd like to come up with your own materials, the teacher's going to be there as long as you don't teach the kids illegal things.
Got it.
We're okay with it, right? And I literally got 6 full classroom hours to show kids stuff about finance. Maybe there's something from the math perspective where you could start it in that way and come in as a volunteer and just say, hey, teacher, take some time off. I'm going to do a thing. But and then the next level up from that is, can you come in through a approved organization through school boards and partner with that? I don't know who runs because every individual school board is not coming up with their math program. It's pushed down from some organization. Find that organization and say, this is an approved tool, therefore all these school boards can have it.
Got it. What's your name?
Rob.
Rob, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards.
For sure. Great suggestion, Rob. Thanks.
You know, I've got some people that do after-school stuff that I'll introduce you to. I also am the coordinator for presenters at the Orlando Rotary. This would be a great thing for the members to have you come into Rotary.
Okay.
So we'll talk after.
For sure. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
What happened to the math teacher you replaced?
Do you really want to know what happened? So what happened was she said something to a student, and the parent got mad. And the parent walked into the whole school, bypassed security, and gave her the business in class in front of all the students. And they put her under investigation to see what that was all about. And then when she came back, she was like, I'm just here to get my stuff because this is ridiculous. Yeah.
So, two quick questions. So first of all, great thing. I think this is fantastic.
Thank you.
A, what does it cost? And B is, what grade level is it targeting?
So I've been teaching pre-algebra and algebra. This particular one, this will be on Amazon starting September 1st. But my dream is that I want this to be in classrooms. Right. So I'm creating class sets, which and the class set is $1,000, and the class set is 30 boards and the whole curriculum to how to do the whole learning.
But how much is it going to cost today on what you're putting on Amazon?
Oh, this is $45.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. Okay.
Pre-algebra and algebra, so depending on what grade that student is, so 13 to 15, age 13 to 15, 7th grade to 9th grade. Yes?
So I had two questions. One, what were the barriers that you had to, introducing this idea to your own kids in the classroom? Like, what were the barriers with the school? What were the barriers?
Okay, I love it. So I wasn't in the public school. Remember, I started at the alternative boys' school, so I had leeway on how to do whatever I wanted to do because these kids got kicked out of the public school, and so this was like a private school. And when I left the private school, I went to a charter school, and they gave me leeway. You can do whatever you want. So I bet. All right, and so one of the things was I didn't create this like, hey, this is the idea. What it was there was a kid, which was the principal's grandson. He came in right after COVID, and he's like, I don't know how to calculate slope. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, okay. I said, what do you like to do? He's like, I like playing video games. And I was like, you know any cheat codes in video games? He's like, yeah, I know a lot of cheat codes. I was like, what video games you play? And he started telling me all the video games. And so I didn't answer him immediately. So I was trying to figure out context for him. And so I was like, look, there's a cheat code for you to calculate slope. He's like, really? There's a cheat code? I was like, yes, there's a cheat code. And so I tell him what the cheat code is. And he's like, okay, I can do that. And so he does the cheat code, and he started getting the answers right. He's on the it's like a education software interface, and he's answering the problems, and he can get them right. And he looking at me, thumbs up. And so the next day, this like I didn't plan on building this, right? So the next day I'm like, if he doesn't know, this is the principal's grandson, if he doesn't know how to do this, like, who else in here don't know how to do this? And so they're like, we don't know. I was like, oh, wow. And so as I start building it, they start telling me, we don't like this, we like this better. We don't like this, we like this better. We don't like this. So it wasn't teacher-centered, it was student-centered. They told me, this is what we like. I was like, all right, I'm listening to you, and everything that you're saying, I'll create it for you. And that's basically what.
That's kind of perfect. I had one quick follow-up question, which kind of I think you almost answered, which is how do you think the retention for kids is with like a physical game as opposed to the online games or online education tools?
Oh, this sticks. This sticks. This sticks. Once, like if you saw in the video, they're answering linear equation in seconds. It's like. Once you're able to conceptualize what's actually happening, like I'm telling you the rules, are like, oh, this is movement. Okay, I just need to move the pieces to where they need to go. Okay, this piece goes here. I need to move these pieces over here. It's like, oh, it's not really math. And these pieces are not really numbers. They're actual characters or people. and if you see on the board, they're colors. So you're not really talking about points. You're talking about, hey, the red one, the blue one, the green one. It's like, oh. That's easier than talking about actual numbers. Like, these numbers actually represent places and locations.
You said it in seconds. What is the before and after? You said they're solving it in seconds. So what do we got before and what's after?
So you'll probably spend 5 minutes doing a linear equation.
That should be in there. That should be in the presentation.
Yeah.
So kind of like piggybacking off of his question about the digital versus the physical one. So is this a one-player game?
So this is how it's set up. The board is specifically made for instant feedback, right? So traditional education goes like this. I teach you, I show you an example, I test you, right? And when I test you, you're not going to get the answers back right away. You probably get the answers back next class or maybe next week. If that's how long it took when you was playing a video game to figure out if you're losing, you probably don't want to play the video game anymore because the feedback is too long. So with this, every student has one on their desk. And as you're doing the problems, the teacher can go around. You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. Oh, and you need to move this. You need to move this over here.
Why don't you come over here?
and so it's once they get it, I introduce it like a training simulator. When they're practicing, this is training simulator. Now the competition is you guys got to go compete against your classmates. That's the challenge.
And kind of touch on that. Sorry, Jim. So and to touch on that, you strongly feel that this version is better than a digital version for, let's say, a person that's homeschooled, for instance, and they want to do something on their own. But so what is the difference?
In this box, there's 2 boards. There's 2 boards in that box. And the reason why there's 2 boards in the box is because I want to empower parents. I want to empower gameplay. Meaning, even if you, as a parent, don't understand how to do this, you're going to empower your kid because you're going to learn that in the process as well. And so when the kids are playing with each other, there's a dynamic where even if you're watching, you're learning too. So it's like, oh, I don't know how to play, but if I watch this long enough, I'll learn it too. And so that's why there's the benefit of this. At some point in the future, I'll introduce the digital version. But for right now, it's the hands-on.
Vanel, great job. This is a wonderful product you've created. I have 2 very quick questions. First, do similar products exist? And second, have you considered patenting this?
So there's a design patent on this one. There's a copyright on this one, and there's going to be a regular patent that goes as far as the scaffold, going from learning how to plot points to slope to linear equations to quadratic equations to absolute value equations, that sequence, and using the tools to do that.
That doesn't mean that somebody else hasn't done something similar.
So there's nothing. So to answer your question, this doesn't exist in the marketplace. Yeah. What exists in the marketplace, there's this thing that's like about this big. It's called a pegboard. And they have rubber bands on them. And the kids can take the rubber bands and manipulate things with the rubber bands. But this right here, no.
Okay, right here, last question.
This is one of the best presentations I have seen in this field. Unbelievable.
Thank you.
It's, you know Sal Khan? Sal Khan,
Yes.
Khan Academy. Mm-hmm. He has 185 million followers. He has about 300 plus people working for him in this. You have to get an audience with him. This will reach to Bill Gates of the world and everybody. You know how much they paid him last year? He's a nonprofit. $27 million. He's worth Nobel Prize this year. I'm not kidding. I wrote about him.
Okay.
So you have to get an audience with him. He will love it. I'm glad you have protected your IP. That's okay. But you don't have to worry about it. You are an executioner. You execute extremely well. You need some help. That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much.
I want to spend more time with you and help you out on that.
Absolutely.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So last question, what can we as the Orlando community of 1 Million Cups do to help you?
The feedback has been tremendous. I really appreciate that. I know I'll connect with many of you after the presentation. I just need some doors open. That's what, you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so that's the whole purpose I'm here. So many of you guys know people that I don't know. And if you can open a door, give me an introduction, that'll mean the world to me.
Perfect. We'll do that.
Thank you.
What'd you do with the clicker? There it is. All right, interesting. So yesterday, I was, you know, you have the garbage, I was pulling the garbage thing, and there I realized there was a little block underneath, and I went to go move it with a shovel, and I got attacked by a wasp. And I mean, this thing just came right at you, and you're knocking it away, but somehow it stuck to my finger, gave me a nice jolt, and swelled up my hand. Today it feels okay. But it got me thinking, and that's what we're going to talk about next, because we don't have another presenter. But it got me thinking, you know, in nature, we all seen the ant. Think about the ant's philosophy, right? What do ants do? They're nonstop. They go around, they go over, they go under if you stuck something in their way. And not only that, but if they come to a barrier that wasn't there before through their little path on the ground, they go back and talk to the scouter ants and say, hey, get up here, we need some more scouting around, so they can figure out how to navigate this obstacle and go on to find whatever they're looking for, right? So I kind of likened that to what we do in business is if you don't have, but we should all have some form of a standard, some form of a non-negotiable in our business. Things that if this happens, I'm okay, but if it goes below that, there is no way. I won't settle for that. So what are your non-negotiables? So I'm going to share with you a couple of mine, and then I want to open this up to the floor. I want you guys to share with each other. What things do you negotiate and non-negotiate with to try to help you get where you want to go? Okay, fair? So one of the things that's a non-negotiable for me, and how I actually discovered that these were non-negotiables, back in 2019, and I've done the presentation here early on, I created a talk called 8 Life-Changing Lessons That You'll Never Learn in School. And Rupert and I were having coffee one day and getting to know each other, and I told him about this, and he goes, can you do that on Wednesday? I'm like, Rupert, it's a 40-minute presentation. If I give you 20, can you get it done? I said, we'll figure it out. And we did it, but it was all created for the business school at UCF, where I was doing this presentation. And what ended up happening, a place they call the Exchange. I had no idea what the Exchange was, just I was working with a nonprofit. One of the girls who ran the business school there invited me, gave me an invitation. So that's how I got in there. So I'm talking to these students, and I realized through these 8 different lessons that these were my standards, my non-negotiables. But the number one most important non-negotiable to me is I am 100% responsible for my actions, for my decisions, for my attitude, for anything that I do. I am responsible. And that's the most important thing. And all of us need to have that type of philosophy. Because the second that you start playing the blame game, oh, well, this little old lady was walking across the street and I had to stop and it was the sun's fault because the sun got in my eyes. No, it's not, okay? It's you need to take accountability for that. What caused that to happen? And sometimes, unfortunately, as I teach my daughter, sometimes because of just our position of leadership, where we are in the company or what we're doing, that decision or that outcome, we may or may not have been directly responsible for it, but somebody under our care or our guidance was. But because of our leadership position, we are the one who is ultimately responsible. So it's really important. That is my number one non-negotiable. So what do you guys have? What type of non-negotiables do you have?
So my non-negotiable would be integrity. So we can, as a culture within our company, everybody, we all have our own cultures within our companies. And one thing that we encourage people to do is to do what they say and say what they mean. And that goes with vendors, okay? And Orlandopreneur, one of the biggest problems we have, aside from trying to find a spot that can handle that many people, is, you know, I'm a process person. So we have processes to identify locations, we have processes to secure those locations, and then to hold the events. And that includes an agreement. And in the agreement, it states all our requirements and everything else. And the location then signs that agreement, or we negotiate whatever. They come back and say, no, we can do that. You know, so we agree and we negotiate. It's on paper and we sign it. And then the night of the event, they do something else. And so we don't go back there again, right? And so, you know, I encourage companies and all of y'all to, if you sign your name onto something, even if it's a handshake, do it. Don't care about the repercussions, because trust me, they'll be a lot worse if you do otherwise.
And you want to hear something really interesting that I learned? If you have a verbal agreement or handshake agreement in the state of Florida, that's considered a binding contract. Right? Who would have known that? So it's important, and I love it. Do what you say and say what you do. That's another one of mine too, right? Arrive early and be prepared. I used to say arrive on time and be prepared, but for me, on time is at least be in the seat where you need to go if you're going to go meet somebody 10 minutes before you get there, right? So Rupert walks in 10 minutes after, and they just go, oh, it's Rupert!
No, we've got time displacement.
Just kidding. So who's next? Anybody else?
Yeah.
Sean.
I have a simple philosophy: minimizing human suffering and delivering happiness. That's all I dream about. Every second, that's what I do. Anything and everything I do, value is human being. There is so much suffering going on all over the world, especially now. So many kids, majority of the kids go to public school for a meal, and we are taking away from that. Think for a minute.
Yeah.
And without food, your brain can't work. How the hell they can learn? So we should be ashamed of that. So I'm determined every second waking hour. By the way, I work at least 16 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week on that mission. And all my mentees, that's what I teach them, and they are helping me get my mission accomplished. That's it. If anybody's interested, I will help you out to how to visualize it. I visualize, manifest, and de-risk everything at the same time. Anything and everything, all businesses. I don't have to know your business. I will let you get to where you want to go, okay? So I have a unique skill I want to share with you. Please approach me anytime you want to. Thank you very much.
You can find him in his office at the Panera at the end of Lake Park across from the church down there. I know, I walked in the other day, had a meeting with somebody, and I got there early for lunch and have a little time with Sean.
Again, that's a great example. He started with few potatoes, World War II veteran, worth $2 billion today. He's one of the best entrepreneurs that I know of. He died about 8 years ago. Unbelievable. Check it out how they manage it. That's the example we want. And plus, they paid $125 million to local people.
Nice.
Every bed after 8 o'clock is given away for free. That's the kind of thing we want to look for. That's the value. That's the reason I go there.
Give back to the community for sure.
It's real simple. I found starting my day with gratitude makes the whole day better.
Yep, that is true. Start the day right. We've talked about that before, right?
I think mine is in a similar vein, but mine is don't go to bed angry. Settle those debts, settle those personal issues, and wake up in the morning as fresh as you can and ready to attack the day with a lot of enthusiasm and vigor. I've been trying to do that for the last 10 years or so, and it's amazing when you put those worries away and you wake up with a renewed spirit, how much you can accomplish and how much you say, you know what, this isn't as bad as what I had thought. So that's kind of like my non-negotiable.
Yep, that's a great one. Hey, Carrie.
Thank you, sir. This is a toughie sometimes, but there's a level that for me is non-negotiable, and that's think before you speak. There are some words that cannot be unsaid and that should never come out of your mouth. There are some words that I will never say to my wife, no matter what happens, right? And for me, that's because I've heard too many stories of people. I had a great example of a mentor of mine. He told on himself and he said, I said something to my mother that could never be unsaid and I never should have said it out loud and I can never take that back and nothing will make up for that. So that's one that you have to control I guess controlling your own emotions really is what it is first.
One that I found to be a reminder in business, I'm not new to business, but I feel like I am at a stage where I would be considered, among the great leaders, I'd be considered a baby. So one that I'm being reminded of often by those leaders, those giants, is to not allow gifts to corrupt me. Don't allow gifts that, even the good intended gifts, but the ones that I know that have an ill intention behind them, to not allow those to corrupt my heart and my footsteps forward.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for the input. So I'll leave you with the last, two other ones that I have. One of them is finish what you start. It's a big reason a lot of entrepreneurs fail. You get frustrated. Your mother or somebody says, David, why don't you get yourself a real job? Right? Mom, I'm making $1,000 a week driving cars. Leave me alone. Right? Stuff like that. Parents or people you love can be your worst enemy. But most important too, and this I say to you guys, is thank you and please in that order. And thank you for allowing me to be able to be here and share with you guys week after week when I can. This is great. But most importantly, please let me know if there is anything that I can do to help any of you, introduce you to people or whatever. Vanel, I mentioned earlier, and I thought of a couple more, I have some people that you need to meet, okay, that are working in that school area and doing some of that kind of thing. I think, and one of them in particular, Tatiana, right, I think would be a great contact for you. So we'll talk after, okay? So, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to share one more that came to mind,
Okay.
which is never, ever, 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 and this group is great at it, stop growing and learning.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King said most people die at 25 years old. We just don't get a chance to bury them until they're 85.
Yeah.
Because they stop learning and they stop growing.
Yeah, exactly. That's important. Didn't I say that to you this morning, Ling? Right? Something like that this morning. We're here because we want to grow personal development. You're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotten. Ripe and rotting, okay? So it's always important to read, learn from others' mistakes, read biographies of people you admire, of where you want to go. It's really critically important we do that. So our sponsors are Tech Hub, OMG Labs, Future Funders, Donut Central, and Salai Coffee provide us our treats every week. And thank you, Murray, wherever you went, for stopping and picking up the donuts every week. Kirkendall Insurance, Orlandopreneur is Rupert, Driven Digital is our friend Tim back there. John Swanson, Stoic Dan helps us with stuff for our online marketing, and then of course myself with Legal Shield Business Solutions. We meet every Wednesday, and the unique thing about 1 Million Cups is in every time zone at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, you can find a 1 Million Cups chapter in most major cities where you head to. And you can find us and follow us on the social media. So it's great, like, follow, comment, take pictures, post. It gets the exposure out there. We have so many entrepreneurs in Central Florida. I don't see why this room isn't almost full every week. okay, especially for the value I'm hoping that we provide. These are some of the organizers. If you're an organizer, raise your hand. Just come see one of us if you have any questions about how to get involved, how to present. And most important, do the 1 million cups philosophy. Go grab a cup of coffee. Get to meet with somebody. Find out who they know. Let them know who you know. See if you can help each other in some form or fashion. You know, make a new friend. And importantly, attend, apply, prepare, and present. So attending, you're doing that. Apply to present. You just go online to the 1 Million Cup site. I'll show you that here, right there. The 1millioncups.com/Orlando. Fill out an application. It comes, Eric and I get an email. One of us will contact you and we'll schedule a time to get you with a coach, or we'll sit down and have you do a quick run through of your presentation so that we can see what you're doing, check your timing, make some critiques to try to make it better for sharing with the group. So why do you want to present? Because of exposure. You have marketing and brand awareness. Vanel is from this. I think we all saw a lot of great things out of here, and I know we all know somebody that we can introduce him to, okay? And Rupert, that was great. You're absolutely right. You've got a viable product. It's like Bill Gates always said, aim, shoot, or fire, shoot, aim, whatever he said, aim, shoot, fire. But yes, but some of those guys, they just do it, right? Figure out your mistakes, where other people are just so analytical and go, well, I can't do this because I don't know this and I don't know that, and they miss the market. Practice and feedback for growth. Create strategic partnerships, as we've been talking about. You might be able to hire and retain some good people, and then networking experience, which is always critical. And our last closing thought for the day, if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. So if you didn't get a chance to sign in, please do let corporate know you're here. And thank you all for coming. I'll see you next week.